This is the Lulich Corner. I'm Jordan Lulich with Lulich Attorneys, and today we've got the opportunity to sit down with Mahal Lacy and Nick Tucker from Seacoast Bank. So first off, thank you guys for coming in, and we appreciate you taking your time to sit down with us.
Thanks for having us, Jordan.
All right, and so I just want to talk a little bit about really the vision of the bank. Like, what is Seacoast, and what is Seacoast Bank's vision, Mahal?
So right now, Seacoast wants to be the trusted advisor of choice for our customers, our businesses, and our community. And we also want to do that with our 4 promises to them by getting them comfortable with our products and our right team to serve them, to make our everyday day-to-day banking easy and simple, to resolve any of the out of the ordinary problems and issues quickly and responsibly, and to invest in you and invest in our community.
Invest in your community, yeah. And you guys, I see you guys a lot at different community events, so you definitely do a good job of getting the name out there and helping support the different local nonprofits. And it's interesting, we're kind of with COVID in the mix. You know, we've seen like a pullback on a lot of different retail locations, and we see people that maybe they're downsizing their offices because they realize that, hey, we don't need 3,000 square feet. We can do 1,500 square feet and have some people be remote. So how do you think that pushback with scaling down retail locations for banks, how has that impacted Seacoast, and what's the consequence for Seacoast ultimately, Nick?
Well, that's a great question, Jordan. And, one of the things, Seacoast continues to grow throughout the state of Florida. And one of our visions, in addition to, as Mahal mentioned, is it's going to be Florida's community bank. Seacoast is seeking to be that bank that Floridians keep top of mind when they think about their day-to-day banking, their future loan needs. And we continue to grow to serve the communities within the state of Florida. We've had some exciting merger and acquisition opportunities that panned out in 2023, and we continue to grow organically in the community through those events.
So you mentioned growth, so tell me a little bit about the growth that Seacoast has seen over the last few years or a few months, so to speak.
It's been tremendous. When I started with the company, we were about a $5 billion bank, and today we've recently reached the $15 billion mark in assets. So it's been...
So we went from $5 billion to $15 billion.
In about 7 years, yes, sir.
That's tremendous growth.
Significant growth. And we recently acquired operations that are bringing us into the North Florida market, which is very exciting for Seacoast, with our acquisition of Drummond Community Bank that was finalized in early 23. That brought us offices in the Gainesville, Ocala, and a few of the other markets up there around the Springs. So we're super excited to be serving those communities and looking forward to more opportunities for growth in that region.
Now, is Florida the only state where Seacoast has offices, or how many offices does Seacoast actually have, Mahal?
Florida is the only place where we're at, only offices that we have. I think we're up to 90 offices now with over 1,600 employees. So.
Okay. Wow. I didn't realize that it was just Florida. So like Nick's saying, like Seacoast focus is the state of Florida.
Yes, that's our goal, to be Florida's bank. I know right now in the Treasure Coast we have 3 offices in Vero, which Nick's at one of them, I'm at the other, and then we have our Cardinal location on the beach. And then we have our Sebastian office over by Rosen Road, and then our Melbourne office is our other one in the Treasure Coast.
That's in the general vicinity. So when you talk to individuals, when you talk to business owners about challenges that they face, what would you say are the biggest challenges that business owners and individuals face when it comes to banking today, Nick?
Well, that's a huge topic, and the uncertainty that they're facing right now. And that uncertainty lies in many different aspects of their life, Jordan. One of the things that I always make sure to let my clients know is to surround themselves with a team of trusted professionals. That's your attorney, your banker. And it's not only just about the big questions are, what kind of fraud issues am I facing as a business owner? What kind of ways can I keep my money safe? How can I grow my money? The all-important FDIC questions with a lot of the things that are in the news right now. But one of my biggest keys that I share with my clients is making sure you have a great estate plan too. Because not only does that go hand in hand with your financial plan, but you want to have those good professionals to walk with you in every stage of life.
And then, I mean, if you've got your estate plan in place, then, your accounts will be set up with your estate plan, and it's a seamless transition. So, we see a lot of people, they just don't want to face those questions, or they don't want to talk about it. But it doesn't have to be this dark topic. You can have fun with it and you can
Exactly.
talk about it, and we try to make it and cultivate an environment where we can joke around about these different types of conversations, because ultimately people, the top two fear that people have is public speaking, and then right behind public speaking is death. And so, yeah, absolutely, I agree with what you're saying. But going back to the fear, Nick, I mean, a lot of uncertainty and a lot of fear and conversation has been rooted when we've seen these banks fail. That we've saw several banks fail earlier this year. And so there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of conversation going around it. People are saying that they should break up their money into 3, 4, 5 different banks because they're concerned that a bank might fail. So I think it boils down to is, how do people keep their money safe?
Well, that's a very hot topic. As you mentioned, breaking money up into 4 or 5 different banks is a preference for some. My ask of my clients and prospective clients is to sit down with your banker, that trusted advisor, and discuss your balances that are held throughout the community. Have an open and honest conversation with your banker. That banker is going to be able to help you structure your deposits in a way that protects you, protects your family, and they're going to be able to not only make sure the protection is in place, because what a lot of folks don't know, Jordan, is that the FDIC insurance, while that is available for them, for each depositor, they can actually raise those amounts with beneficiaries and having them in different styles of accounts.
That's good to know.
There's a lot of conversation to be had with your banker, with your financial advisor, and that's going to keep not only the funds safe, but it's going to open a great conversation right now with interest rates rising. And there's a lot of opportunity to be had for clients right now in that rising interest rate environment.
So something at least we've seen on the closing side is there's a lot of different scams, threats going on to one's money, but specifically scams that we've seen: wire fraud, forgery, and so what type of safeguards should people put in place, and what are on your side, on the banking side, what are some different types of threats and scams that you've seen recently that are going on right now?
Well, I know right now we're seeing a lot of emails, texts, phone calls that clients are getting, and they're getting, like, the phone numbers are being spoofed, so they think that it's Seacoast Bank or a bank calling, and it's not them. They'll get messages with, like, trying to create the sense of urgency that, hurry up and answer this, because otherwise either your bank's going to close, your account's going to close out, or you owe the IRS money, getting people freaked out that bad things are going to happen if they don't respond right away. And then there are also other scams where they're offering them to do a job where you have something up for sale, and they're giving you more money than you asked for, and then telling you, hey, well, sorry about it, I sent you extra money, but can you send that back to this person? And essentially it all is just fraudulent money being moved around. And
and like, one of the things that I tell people is, when you email someone, it's like a public highway. I mean, like, people can easily intercept your emails. So, when you start emailing account numbers, routing numbers, you need to be very cautious, and you need, before you send a wire or before you receive, before you give wire instructions, that person should be verifying with that branch those wire instructions directly. Because a lot of people don't realize, they think it's confidential, but it's like a public highway. It's like I-95 is the best way I think about it.
And not even just looking at the phone number on the wire, but looking up the company and making sure that's a legitimate number, because that number on that paper may be fraudulent. So
we've seen that before too. So with all this fraud and identity theft, I mean, how, what are 1 or 2 specific ways that people can protect themselves? I mean, I know you mentioned when it comes to wiring, you said independently verifying that phone number that's on the wire instructions. But what are some other safeguards that people can kind of implement on a day-to-day basis to help protect themselves?
Being careful, like cautious when you're clicking on links from emails, so you're not really sure where they're coming from. Researching and validating to make sure that whatever is being said, if it seems suspicious, to like go and validate and do some research to make sure, is that the right company? Is that the right email? Setting up alerts for your banking accounts to monitor any transactions, to review your balances daily, just to make sure you're not missing anything. Because your card could get spoofed at a gas station, and you may not notice because you're like, oh, I know what my transactions are daily, and all of a sudden all this money is missing because you weren't paying attention. So just kind of regular checking up on things, and just being very, very cautious nowadays of what's being said and what's going around.
Well, good information, guys. if someone does want to contact you, how can they find you?
Absolutely. Our website, www.seacoastbank.com. My name is Nick Tucker. I'm located at the Vero Beach 12th Street office at 1206 US Highway 1. And Mahal is with our Route 60 branch.
Yep.
And your branch phone number?
Ours is 772-778-4627, and our location is the 6030 20th Street, Vero Beach, Florida.
All right. This is the Lulich Corner. I'm Jordan Lulich, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining, guys. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Jordan.